Okay, so everyone keeps asking the same question. How do we go from Figma to code? And I think that's the wrong question. The better question is, how does your whole product team need to change now that design can move into code? Because design to code is not just about taking a Figma file and turning it into a React component. That's just one piece of it. And it's not even the full workflow. The workflow is so much bigger. It's your requirements. It's your design system. It's your repo. It's your Slack conversations. It's your transcripts from all the calls that you have internally and externally. It is all of the product decisions that usually live in 10 different places. And if AI cannot see the context, it's going to guess. Sometimes it guesses well. Sometimes it gives you something that looks right, but it's completely wrong for the feature that you're building. And that's where I think a lot of teams are getting stuck. They're trying to add AI onto the old process. And the old process with a little AI sprinkled on top, it's not working. Hey, I'm Diane, co-founder of the Design Project. We help over 50 B2B SaaS teams ship products faster with AI. And right now we're heads down building AI managed design systems. Our customers have been acquired by Slack, NVIDIA, and MrBeast. So this old workflow looked something like this. PM writes a ticket, designer makes a Figma, engineer rebuilds the design, QA checks it, and then the feature shipped. And then everyone goes back and forth because something within that process got lost. The requirements were not clear, the design didn't match the existing product, the engineers didn't know the business rules, the component in Figma did not match the component in code. The process sounds good, but we know, as all of us do in product, that usually the back and forth is what really takes the most time when building out features. And everyone is kind of working from a different version of reality. That was already hard before AI. And with AI, it gets even messier because AI is only as good as the context that it sees. So now if we're saying, hey, AI, go fix this for us, do this for us, it's leading to way more chaos. So where I've landed, at least for right now, everything's changing. So who knows where I'll be tomorrow. But it's that the repo should start becoming this product brain. So repo should not just be the code base where the code lives. It should be the place where that brain lives, all the information is stored. And it's really, really cool. All of your recorded conversations get pulled in, internal, external. Your Slack conversations, they get pulled in. Your tickets, your requirements, product decisions, design decisions, business rules, component library, all of that starts feeding into one knowledge hub in the repo. So now when AI is helping you design or build something, it's not just responding to one prompt that you put in. It has the context of how the product works, what the customer expects, what the team has already decided, what components exist, and what rules apply. This is seriously a game changer, and I don't mean that in like a hype type of way. I mean it like very, very practically. If you ask AI to build a modal, it should not just build any modal. It should know how your product uses modals, when to use a cancel button, when to use an X in the top right, what the error states look like, what happens after submit, what the business rule is behind that action. And that's really the difference between a component library and what I think is becoming more of this AI managed component library. Before, component libraries mostly lived in Figma, and I loved Figma. But the problem is that Figma components and the coded components often drift. I think if you guys have been in product long enough, you all have seen this issue. The designer is using one thing, the engineer builds another thing. Storybook might exist somewhere, but it's not connected to the actual product logic. So everyone says, we have a design system, but then nobody really trusts it or nobody's using it consistently. The new version has to live much, much closer to the code, and it has to include the rules, not just what the button looks like. It should show how it should be used, when it should be used, and what it means inside of the actual product. That's the part that AI really, really needs. And I've talked a lot about this in some of my other videos about how to build this design system using metadata, for instance. Okay, and then the next layer on top of all of this is the agents. This is the piece I think most people are not talking enough about. Agents should not just be generating screens. They should be reviewing work, they can QA the flow, they can check if the design matches the requirements, they can check if the implementation uses the right components in the first place, and potentially they can even push a PR. So they can come back to you and say, hey, this does not match the product rules we already documented, or something like this feature is using a pattern that we said we were going to move away from. So this happens often. Let's say the global team is changing a component and then another team, the designer's building something and they're using an old component. Now the AI knows that they're moving away from that component and can clearly communicate. So that means way less designs drifting in different directions that don't make sense for the product. And this is where it starts to get really interesting, because if the agent is not just making random changes, it's also checking the work against the product as a whole. That truly is the only part that matters. And we can all understand how much that's going to speed up the back and forth. So it's not faster screens, but it's better alignment, more context, and less guessing. So I think there are 3 big shifts happening. First, like we talked about, the repo becomes the product brain. Second, components become business aware. And third, of course, agents becoming part of the team's operating system. This is the new design to code workflow, not Figma to code, but product knowledge to code, design decisions to code, business rules to code, and then agents helping review that work as it moves through the system. Right now, I'm spending a lot of time with teams who are trying to figure out this exact shift. How do you move from the old product workflow to the new AI native workflow? And it's not easy. Everyone has to change how they're thinking about it. And I'm honestly still figuring this out too. It's still very early, and I don't think anyone has the perfect answer yet, but I do think that these patterns are starting to get clearer and clearer. The teams that are going to be able to move faster are not just the teams using more AI tools. They are the teams that are giving AI the right product context. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what I'm doing, there's a form in the description below. I would love to chat with you. Right now, most teams have their knowledge everywhere, right? Requirements in Jira, decisions in Slack, customer context in call transcripts, design rules in Figma, engineering rules in code, and product logic in someone's head. And then we ask AI to help. But we only give it one ticket or one screenshot or one prompt, and then we get frustrated when it misses the bigger picture. But of course it does. Now that we're thinking about it clearly, right? It can't see the bigger picture. So the question becomes, how do we give AI the product brain? Let's say there's a new feature. In the old process, someone writes a ticket, maybe there's a meeting, maybe the meeting gets recorded, maybe the transcript sits somewhere and then nobody looks at it again. Then the designer tries to make sense of the ticket. Then the engineer tries to make sense of the design, and then QA tries to make sense of what shipped. In the new workflow, that conversation gets pulled into one brain. The requirements get extracted, the product rules get connected, and the existing components get referenced. Dun-dun. Amazing. I know it's easier said than done, but stay with me here. The designer can create a working prototype with that context. The engineer can connect it to the backend with the context, and then the agent can review it with that context, right? That is the shift. No AI magically replacing the team. It's that the team finally has one place where the product context lives and AI can use it. So one of the hardest parts about this is legacy products. And when I say legacy, I don't mean bad. I just mean they're real products that have been built over 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, products with old components, old tickets, old decisions, old workflows, some things that someone back in the day might remember that was here from 4 or 5 years ago. And that's where things get a little bit more tricky. You're not starting from a blank canvas. You have to extract the roles from what already exists. And then you have to audit the components that exist. And you have to figure out where the product logic actually lives. Sometimes the product logic lives in code. Sometimes it lives in someone's head. Sometimes it lives in a Slack thread that was from 8 months ago that no one can find again, right? It's really, truly not easy. And I think that's also why this matters so much, because if you don't build that brain, the AI is going to keep guessing, just like we do every single day in this old process. Now we just do it with newer tools. So the best way to solve this problem, I think, is in chunks. We should start building that product brain, pulling in all the transcripts that we have, all the Slack conversations we have, all the interviews that we have. Let's interview stakeholders. Let's start this process with a new feature. That's usually what I say. I know it's more complicated than it seems, but we've been doing this with teams where it's like, let's just start small and we can continue to build upon it. Okay, now I want to talk about roles. The other thing that we know, roles are changing. PMs cannot just write a big ticket anymore. Designers cannot just hand off a static screen, and engineers cannot just code what they see at the end of this process. Everyone has to work closer together. PMs need to be creating requirements that AI and engineers can actually use, and designers need to think more in prototypes, systems, and components. Engineers need to help structure the repo so the product brain can actually work. And then, of course, agents are back. They can sit across all of this. They can review, check, QA, potentially open PRs. Really, really cool, and also a little bit uncomfortable because it means the process is changing, not just the tools we use. And if you're watching this video up until this point and you're thinking, okay, this is exactly what my team needs, but I have no idea how to set it up, I get it. That makes a lot of sense. This is the kind of thing we're starting to help teams figure out: the repo structure, the product brain, the component library, how the workflow actually works. And even if you're just watching this video and you're not there yet, I think the big takeaway is simple. 1, design to code is not Figma to code. 2, your repo is becoming the product brain. And 3, agents only work well when they are grounded in the product as a whole. This is where I think it's going, and that is why the old workflow is starting to break down. Thanks for listening. I put out videos weekly on building faster with AI. Please like and subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next one.